journal Sport Psychology in Action is one of the applied journals for the Association for Applied Sports Psychology. It is based out of the United States. It is for applied sports psychologists, but it is everything that is submitted to that journal is theoretically bound. And the really neat thing about that particular journal is it is science in the first half of the manuscript and intervention or practice in the second half of the manuscript. So it's science to practice, and that's the form of knowledge translation that is mandated in that particular journal. We are well aware that there are certain topics that are emerging topics, issues like athlete identity, inclusiveness, particularly at this point in time in this world, in our history, the way we're going right now, is there's a lot of interest in that, and it's an emerging area, and yet we have to also make space for those emerging areas, and they may not be heavily read and heavily cited in the immediate, and yet in a few years they will be. So we have to sort of anticipate at the same time. But those that are most cited and most read are generally for a wider audience versus a narrow audience. So, and those are the papers we prioritize. eSport, particularly even in such issues as mental health of people who are oftentimes be in front of a device and for extensive hours within a given day, particularly professionals eSport, right? And the mental health associated with it is really interesting. And yet the performance elements of eSport are also equally interesting in terms of what we are asking mentally from these performers and the level of attention and responsiveness to it. And it is a growing sport area. So we have to recognize it, make space for it. And I think it is most certainly one of those emerging topics where it may not necessarily have a huge body of readership within sports psychology. It will within the lay audience at this point, but it is that interest is going to migrate into associate editors and the academic community very rapidly. And those changes within the next 5 or 6 years, it's going to be a mainstay topic. There are eSport teams in Malaysia and in Singapore and in India and in Canada and all over the world. And so it has a vast representation to it. One of the things that I always felt from the vantage of being an active author and a very vibrant author is we have to do right by our authors, and we have to be virtuous in the way we go about working with them. And so one of those things is that authors are under a tremendous amount of stress, and as editors and associate editors, we really need to understand that. And most associate editors and editors are very active authors, and to a degree we understand it, and yet we forget it. And we have to make sure that the flow of work that comes from the journal in terms of submissions is addressed expeditiously so that manuscripts are moved along, they're farmed out for review very quickly, they're assigned to the correct associate editors. And we also have to be very open to subject areas, not just our own preferred subject areas. We have to get beyond that and be open to all subject areas, and we have to be open in the way we do our business, and we have to be not just inclusive, but receptive to new ideas, receptive to different points of view, generous especially when a point of view does not align with our own, and we have to challenge ourselves. And I think that's probably one of the key responsibilities. I would say it's not just chasing an impact factor, and it's not just chasing citations, and it's not just chasing reads, but it's really taking on seriously that responsibility that comes with being an editor.